In the world of sports, injuries are an everyday occurrence. In fact, the longer a person's sports career lasts, the rarer it is for that athlete to be sidelined by injury. This cuts across all sports disciplines, from the rough and tumble games like football and rugby to the seemingly safe sports like golf and bowling. But occasionally, some injuries turn out to be so fatal that athletes even lose their lives. In this video, we have documented some famous athletes who perished in action. Heartbreaking indeed, but we're here to take the bold step and show you why, when, and how it happened. But before we begin, kindly subscribe to our channel for more of our awesome content. Please give us a like, share the video, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell for timely updates of our weekly uploads. Let's get it on! Number 10. Chuck Hughes, NFL. Chuck was a rising star of the NFL in the early 1970s and was in his prime as he had set several records for the Western Texas College. He was drafted to the Philadelphia Eagles in 1967 and then traded in 1970 to the team he would end his career with, the Detroit Lions. On October 24, 1971, in a game against the Chicago Bears, Hughes entered the field as a substitute for an injured player in the final minutes of the game. After a few plays, he dropped to the ground as he made his way to the huddle, clutching his heart and seizing. Despite medics rushing to help, Hughes died of arterial sclerosis and remained the only player who ever died during an NFL game in the sport's history. Number 9. MarkVivian Foe, Soccer. Mark was a Cameroon soccer player who played as a midfielder for both club and his country's national team. After building himself a successful career in his native country, the champion later moved to France, where he gained international recognition in the interest of some of the world's top clubs. They drafted Vivian into his country's national team, and as of 1994, he played in all of Cameroon's matches. He later joined Lionel FC on a €6 million transfer and then loaned to Manchester City in the 2002-2003 season. On June 26, 2003, in the semi-final of the Confederations Club, which took place at the Stade de Guerre in Lyon, France, Cameroon was to face Colombia. Later in the game, Mark collapsed in the middle of the field with no other players near him. In a report given by his widow much later, the player had been a little sick with gastric problems and dysentery days before the match. Despite this, she said Mark was insistent on playing because the game was being played in his adopted hometown. Paramedics attempted to resuscitate him, but he died shortly after arriving in the hospital. An autopsy done concluded that his death was related to a heart condition. Doctors say that he suffered from hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, a hereditary condition known to increase the risk of sudden death during physical exercise. Number 8. Reggie Lewis, Basketball. Reggie Lewis was one of the premier players for the Boston Celtics of the early 80s and 90s. He was one of the NBA's top scorers, cementing his place as one of the most reliable players of his era. Tragically, Lewis collapsed and died because of heart failure during a training session on an off-season game at the age of 27. At that point, rumors started circulating of his alleged use of cocaine, but an autopsy confirmed that he had not been using the drug. His death stunned the NBA as his promising career ended so soon. Number 7. Malik, Surfing. Did you know that the waves in the ocean or the sea can kill you? Well, sharks are not the only danger surfers face at sea, as one brilliant Malik died too soon due to the waves at sea while surfing. On the fateful Friday of December 2, 2005, Malik, a surfer known for riding one of the largest waves in history, took an 8-foot wave at Oahu's pipeline in Hawaii. According to witnesses, the nose of Malik's board sank into the face of the wave as he dropped into the wave, slowing down his forward momentum. Because of the loss of speed on this highly complicated wave, he was struck by the wave's leap and sunk underwater. It's believed that the force of the tide was so powerful that it broke his board. Again, his leash ripped off his board, making it hard to locate him visually. Efforts of water photographers and other surfers proved unsuccessful, and the Frenchman was found 15 minutes later at Pupukea Beach by another surfer, Miles Padaka. The lifeguard team and paramedics attempted to bring him back to life, but failed. An autopsy revealed that the board hit him in the head, which made him lose consciousness. Number 6. Ray Chapman, Baseball. Back in the day, a pitcher's job was to alter up a new ball the moment it was put into the game. This technique was rather disgusting as the ball was covered in dirt, saliva, and even tobacco juice. This gave a somewhat deformed, dirty ball that flew erratically and hard to see as it came over the plate. It's believed that the now-banned practice was the reason Ray died in 1920. He was struck in the head by Carl May's ball in a game against the New York Yankees. Eyewitnesses recounted that Ray never attempted to dodge the ball, supposedly because he could not see it. The players close to him said the sound of the ball flashing into Chapman's skull was so loud that they believed it had hit his bat. Sadly, he died 12 hours later because of a head injury he incurred. He was 29 at the time of death. Number 5. Ayrton Senna, race driver. Senna was a Brazilian racing driver, winner of 3 world championships in 1988, 1990, and 1991. They considered him one of the greatest Formula One drivers of all time, voted as the best and most influential driver in history throughout the many motorsport polls. The 34-year-old champion held a record of 6 victories at the Monaco Grand Prix and is the 5th most successful driver of all time in the sport. On the 1st of May 1994, his car crashed into a concrete barrier. The tragic accident happened when he was in first place at the 1994 San Marino Grand Prix at the Autodromo Ferrari in Italy. This accident was supposedly the worst of several accidents that took place that weekend. Again, it was the very first accident to happen during a Formula One race in 12 years. His accident and another driver's accident that occurred one day before became a turning point in the safety of car races. It provoked the implementation of additional safety measures. Number 4. Bill Masterson, ice hockey. The Canadian-American ice hockey player of the North Star Club is the only player in history known to have died from direct injuries during a game. He suffered a severe brain injury while playing against Oakland Seals in 1968, 13th of January. He collided with opponents Larry and Ron, which caused him to bleed profusely from his nose, ears, and mouth. Medics gave him emergency care in the dressing room, where he had fell unconscious while being rushed to the hospital. Sadly, he died just 30 hours after the hit, without gaining consciousness. Number 3. Antonio Puerta, soccer. Antonio was a Spanish football player who led his team Sevilla to achieve 5 major titles during his time with the club. During the La Liga game on August 25th in 2007, he suddenly faced a series of cardiac arrests and died days later on the 28th of August. His untimely demise was attributed to arrhythmogenic right ventricular dysplasia 3 days after suffering cardiac arrest during a home game against Getafe. At the time of his death, his girlfriend was carrying their first child. He died at the age of 23. Number 2. Todd Skinner, mountain climbing. Todd was a full-time free climber and motivational speaker, married with 3 children. He is considered a climbing world legend, having completed several free climbing ascents, which earned him international recognition. After he had completed an alternative route at the Yosemite National Park on 23 October 2006, he rappelled down the face of the mountain. While rappelling, and because of a failure of the belay loop of this harness, he fell 500 feet and died on the spot. A friend, Jim Hewitt, was with him at the time, and he observed that the harness had appeared worn. While he was just 100 feet above Todd, he said that he heard a snap sound, heard no crying, only silence, as Skinner dropped on the ground and perished instantly. Number 1. Dukku Kim, boxing. The South Korean Kim Dukku won 17 fights out of the 20 he participated in. He died during a World Championship match against Ray Mancini on November 13, 1982. Because of simultaneous hard right punches, Kim went flying into the ropes, which made the referees stop the match. Only 19 seconds into the 14 rounds, Ray was declared the winner. Even after this, Kim did not move, which made the paramedics rush him to the hospital, only to discover that he had a hematoma comprising 100 cc's of blood in his brain. He died 4 days later while receiving treatment. Did you enjoy our video? Have you ever heard or witnessed the tragic and unfortunate demise of anyone known to you or the public? Well, if you enjoyed our video, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more of our fantastic content. Please give us a like, share the video, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell for timely updates of our weekly uploads. We value your feedback. Feel free to share your thoughts with us in the comments section below.